Welcome back to OneStopTutorials.com. It's me, Alibaba, back again. We're back in Flash. Now, it is so hot out at the moment in Thailand. I don't want to make you people in England feel, cold or something. I'm sure it's absolutely freezing over there, but it is so hot at the moment. I have to turn my fan off to do these tutorials, and it is some serious weather out at the moment. I'm English, I'm allowed to moan about the weather. That is just what we do. In this tutorial, what we're going to get into is we're going to carry on with inserting keyframes, frames, deleting them, learning the shortcut keys to how to use them. What I want to do is, on frame 1, I want to grab ourselves our rectangular tool. We're so professional at this now, we know exactly what we're doing. I'm going to left click and drag, make myself a shape. I'm going to come up to my timeline, I'm going to insert a new layer, and on layer 2 I'm going to make an oval. I'm just doing this just so you've got something to look at. And on frame 3 I'm going to insert a new layer. On frame 3 I'm going to make a small square. That'll be fine, okay? And what I want to do quickly is double left click on layer 1, call this big box, okay? On layer 2, circle, and double click on layer 3, small box. Okay, you don't need to do this, I'm just trying to keep it tidy. So okay, we're ready. We got our big box, circle, and small box. It's just going to be easier for you to understand what layer is doing what. At the moment, you'll notice on frame 1 they all have keyframes, so each individual layer at the moment has a keyframe on frame 1. I'm going to select the big box layer and I'm going to come out to frame 10. I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose insert frame. You'll now notice that the other two frames, the circle and the small box, have disappeared. That is because at present everything is set to frame 1. So the circle and the small box is set to frame 1. Okay, the big box is set to frame 10. We inserted a frame at frame 10. So that means as soon as we go over frame 2, you'll notice that the two graphics underneath, the small box and the circle, disappear completely. Okay, when we come back to frame 1, there they are. Okay. Now what I want to show you is I want to show you how to insert another frame, but inserting duplicate frames. So let's say, for instance, at frame 10 you wanted all three animation to be there. Okay, you didn't just want to be big boxes there at frame 10 and the other two animations disappear. Well, what you can do is you can left click on the first at frame 10, left click on one, drag down by holding down your left mouse button and select both of those frames. Now another option of doing this is you can come to insert timeline and you can choose frame. So you can insert a frame. I'm going to Control Z that. The other way was to right click, insert frame. It all depends on how you want to use. And you'll now notice that from frame 1 to frame 10 everything is on the stage, all animation is showing. I'm just going to do a Control Z, Command Z, bring that back to how it was. Next thing I want to do on the circle one is I want to show you again the keyframe. So I'm going to come up to frame 10 on the circle for layer, select the layer of the circle, right click and then choose insert keyframe. Again, you'll now notice that on frame 1 we're all there. After frame 2 to frame 10 you'll notice now we only have the circle and the big box, because the circle and the big box layers are the ones with the frames hanging out the most. We can now on frame 10 of the circle, again like we did in the last tutorial, move that animation over. So on frame 1 to frame 9 the circle will be to the left. On frame 10 the circle will be to the right. So that's looking good. Now let's say for instance you wanted to add another animation to this, but you didn't want these two to be on the stage. Well, what you can do is after frame 10 you can right click and you can choose insert blank keyframe. What that does now is that resets the stage to a blank frame. Okay, so everything up to frame 1 to 10 you'll notice all our animations are there according to how we set it. On frame 11 you'll now notice the stage is clear, so you can come into your library and you can add more symbols, animation, graphics to what you want. You can basically start from a clean frame. Okay, and that's what the blank keyframe allows you to do. Now what the shortcuts to make all this work is, let's say on frame 20 we wanted to insert a frame. The shortcut for inserting frames is F5. So just let me show you that one more time. You select the frame of where you want it to go. So let's say we wanted it on 45. You left click on number 45 frame for that layer, hit F5, and that will insert a frame all the way there. Okay, I'm going to Control Z that. Next thing, to insert an actual keyframe, okay, what you need to do is hit F6 and that will insert you a keyframe. And to insert a blank keyframe, all you would need to do is hit F7 and that will insert you a blank keyframe. Okay. Now the way to delete them is exactly the same way, but adding shift to the picture. So if you added shift F5, that would delete the frame. So if I was to quickly add F5 and I choose shift F5, that will delete the frame. If you wanted to delete multiple frames, all you do is select the area that you want to delete. So I want to delete from frame 24 to frame 14, and then I hold down shift and I hit F5. That will now delete the frames out. Okay, so now you've got an understanding of how to use frames and what frames are and how to add and delete by using the shortcut keys. Another way you can do things actually is, I just want to quickly show you, was you can duplicate frames by holding down Alt or Option on your keyboard, dragging that frame to, let's say, frame 5. You'll now notice we've duplicated this frame here. So this is the little square box, and at frame 5 it's the same square box. Okay, again you can do the same, hold down Alt or Option on your keyboard, drag the next one over, and again that will add another duplication of that keyframe. Okay, so if I come back, let's say on this one here, I move the animation to there. When I come to hold down Alt or Option on my keyboard, drag, let's say, to frame 10, you'll now notice it's duplicated the position and the actual shape of that box to whatever I duplicated it from, in our case the square box sitting center in the middle of the stage. So that's it for this tutorial. We're going to start moving on a bit more. I hope you're sort of getting an understanding of this. Don't worry too much. We're going to be using frames, keyframes, inserting frames, all sorts of stuff during our projects. I just wanted to give you a general overview and to help you out. Take it easy, guys and girls. Catch you at the next One Stop Tutorials.